Welcome back to the channel, everyone. In a previous video I did titled The Weird Connection Between George Lucas and Star Trek II, I made the comment that The Wrath of Khan, from that point on, from the moment the movie came out and the great success that it saw, it defined Star Trek, and it would help to shape Star Trek from that point on. It was the model, the mold, if you want to go with that one. It was the mold, the very template that Star Trek would be based and shaped off of. But comment sections are filled with so many interesting people. One person in particular decided that my comments on Star Trek II were wrong, and he even went as far as to ask me if I had ever seen The Next Generation and the impact that it had on Star Trek, and how Star Trek First Contact had impacted Star Trek. In this person's eyes, clearly I did not understand Star Trek The Next Generation and how important the movie First Contact was to the franchise, and this man's argument was that The Wrath of Khan was no longer the best Star Trek movie. First Contact was. So according to this person, Star Trek First Contact has become the best movie in the entire Star Trek franchise, bumping The Wrath of Khan to number 2. Now, this may sound like a petty and even a pointless video to make, but to me, I don't think so. See, The Wrath of Khan wasn't just because it was about Ricardo Montalban fighting Admiral Kirk, William Shatner. It was a groundbreaking movie for Star Trek. It catapulted the franchise into a direction that no one expected it would go. It forever changed the whole outlook of Star Trek. First Contact did not have that impact. First Contact was obviously a damn good movie. There's no argument to be made there. In fact, it was the best one in the Next Generation films. For the most part, the Next Generation movies were good, but many feel that Insurrection and Nemesis could have passed themselves off as 2-hour episodes of the Next Generation. First Contact did definitely have a lot of action in it, yes, and probably more action when it came to fights for hand-to-hand combat, probably more action than The Wrath of Khan. But it's the impact of the two movies that matters the most in this video and in this argument to be made here about which one is better. Star Trek First Contact gave us the Borg Queen, and while in the movie she was menacing, she was a powerful foe to deal with, once they decided to introduce her into more of Star Trek Voyager, Star Trek Picard Season 2 and 3, it just got old. It got very old. And I know that at the end of Season 3 of Picard, a lot of people were screaming, nice job concluding it with Picard's history with the Borg Queen, but please, no more of the Borg. We're done with them. We're tired of them. Another problem that people have had, as well as myself have had with First Contact is, and I'm not taking away from the story, but the problem that I have with this is the fact that Picard's issues with the Borg were dealt with in The Next Generation. In the episode I, Borg, Picard was confronted with the same dilemma. Well, his ship wasn't being assaulted by the Borg, but at the same time he was confronted with his anger, his hatred, his rage toward them, and he was willing to take it out through Hugh. In the end of that episode, Picard recognized that Hugh was just a victim like he was. He was tortured, he was cannibalized just like Picard was, and Picard recognized this and came to terms with his anger toward the Borg. And yet by the time we get to First Contact, it's like nothing had ever happened. It's like Borg never happened, and Picard had never gone through a growing experience. All that was taken away for the expense of giving him conflict with the Borg Queen. I said before that The Wrath of Khan was basically the template for which Star Trek was built on, and it's true. If it wasn't for The Wrath of Khan and the military style, the uniforms, the battles, Next Generation would not exist. Now, I know many of you out there have your own ideas of what is a good Star Trek movie and which one is the best in the whole franchise. In the end, while I believe First Contact is a great Star Trek movie, I just don't think it has both the historical and pop cultural impact that The Wrath of Khan does. Well, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments on this, so please drop those comments below and let me know. And until the next time, my friends, God bless.